Hello class, I just want to briefly explain the tool we'll be using for peer reviews in this class. It's called Feedback Fruits, and it allows us to have a more streamlined peer review process, more than a regular discussion board might be. So there's going to be several steps in this process that I want to show you. So the instructions will kind of lay out at the beginning what you need to do for the activity and when it's due. So the first step will be to hand in the piece of writing that we will be working on. So you'll submit a file first, and there will be a due date for that file, and Feedback Fruits will tell you how many days you have left until that is due and when the deadline is. So that's the first step you'll do, is turn in the piece of writing that we'll be critiquing. The second step will be to give feedback to yourself, and then to give feedback to 2 of your peers. So the first step, you'll go in and look at your own submission, and I've provided some guiding questions and a rubric, and you'll need to fill those out and give yourself some feedback. You can also mark up the document, anything that you notice, and this will help you to improve as a writer. So it might seem kind of funny to you that you need to do this, but it's actually going to help you be more self-aware and to help you catch more things in your own writing. Once you've given feedback to yourself, you'll be assigned 2 peers, and those will show up here, their documents. So you'll want to go in and give feedback to those 2 peers, again using the questions I provide and the rubric. But be aware that in that document you'll be able to mark things up within this program. So you can highlight things, you can make notes and annotations right in their document, and that's going to be really helpful for them, for you to mark specific punctuation or sentences or errors that you see. You can mark those and flag them specifically, and that makes it a lot easier to provide quality feedback. So take some time on that step, as it's intended to be something that will benefit your peers and benefit you as well, as you take the time to give meaningful feedback and in turn receive meaningful feedback. Then, so that there will be a deadline for that as well, and then the third step will be to read the feedback you've been given. So you'll want to go back and look at your own feedback to yourself as you revise your paragraph, and then you'll want to look at your peers' feedback. And you actually are required to read all of your feedback in order to get full points on this assignment, because if you're not reading the feedback, then this activity is not really doing you any good. So you will read your received feedback by a certain deadline, and that will be specified here in the activity. And then once the grades are published, you'll be able to see those. So this is a really neat tool. I think it will help really, like I said, streamline this process of peer review and help us to give more meaningful comments to each other. Typically online peer review is kind of clunky, but this allows us to have a pretty straightforward peer review process. If at any time you have questions about how to do this or how to use Feedback Fruits, feel free to send me a message and I'll be happy to work with you.